I'm learning to vibe code from scratch, and there's nothing more confusing than trying to figure out which videos to watch on YouTube, which documents to pay attention to. And it's very challenging because there's hundreds of hours of YouTube videos that I could watch on vibe coding, and I don't know which ones to pay attention to. So I get overwhelmed and shut down. In this video, I'm going to show you how I'm fixing that with Notebook LM. You're going to want to watch. So I'm going to show you how I'm using Notebook LM to change the game for me because there is so much content online and I don't have the time to slow down and watch every video. I mean, I watch at a 1.5 speed on everything I watch just because I want to speed it up, but it's still not enough. And so what I've been doing, and I'm going to show you how to do this, is using Notebook LM to learn vibe coding faster. And the first thing you need to do with Notebook LM is set up your environment for learning. The coolest feature that I found on here is their new Discover feature, which allows me to search all the YouTube videos that I need to watch in order to be good or at least learn vibe coding. And so I'm going to show you how I stock up my library in Notebook LM. And this might be something that you try for yourself because now with their new features, I can create audio overviews, I can create mind maps, flashcards. I'm not trying to be an expert necessarily, but I do want to understand the concepts of vibe coding, and especially for me as a newbie, how to debug and fix all the errors because I've had a lot of errors in my coding. And so what I'm doing is I'm filling up my library, and the way I'm doing that is Notebook LM has this new web feature where you can actually type in the YouTube videos that you're looking for or the prompt that you have for the content that you're trying to find. So here's what I do. I go to Gemini and I have Gemini help me write this. I'm going to get rid of this banner here real quick so you can see the whole screen. But I'll go to Gemini and I like to voice text. I'm not a big typer. And so I'll just say, I'm a new programmer and I'm looking for content on YouTube to help me to vibe code better, period. I need a prompt for Notebook LM to discover resources on YouTube specifically around vibe coding and debugging and understanding what vibe coding is, and also learning how to program properly, period. Will you create a short prompt for me to use in my discovery phase? So I'm going to change this up just a hair here. Because I want to let it know I'm a new programmer, so I need something simple. So I'm just going to have it create the prompt for me. And then what I do is I'll take this prompt, if it's not too big, over to Notebook LM. No, it's still typing here. And you can see I'm fairly new to this. This is pulling up. I'm going to drop this into Notebook LM and it'll pull up the resources for me. So what I'll do is I'll just create more and more prompts like that. So this is where I want to go right here. I just want to take this part. Please search for these items. We're going to drop that into Notebook LM. A lot of times they have a character limit on what you can prompt inside of Notebook LM. I'm just going to click submit and let it bring the resources to me. So I'm going to look at these sources and make sure they're aligned with what I'm trying to do, because all of these are going to lay the foundation for my learning. And if you're new to vibe coding or AI or prompt engineering, I've been using Angular and Python and Cursor, and I'm new to it. So I use an app called Mimo to kind of play the game of Python on my phone to learn the fundamentals of programming. But man, I am so far from being an expert. But this is my pathway for becoming an expert in this area. So this brought some of the tools and resources that I can use in my notebook. I just want to look through those real quick and make sure they're going to match up with what I need. I love that vibe coding guide. I do want that. I like these. I'm going to go ahead and import those. I could even just say I need YouTube videos from credible on vibe coding and best practices. Let's say that. Okay. And I'll just hit enter and see what it brings for me. You'll see it go to work. The cool thing is I'm on a pro plan with Notebook LM. You can have up to 300 resources in there. The nice thing about it is I can go back at any time, just double check your content to make sure it is good. I like these. I'm going to go ahead and import those. It's got PDF documents. You can do slides. You can do so much with Notebook LM. I'm going to import those. So what I do is I take a lot of time of filling up a notebook so that I can learn from it. So some of the others that I built is, Marketing Master, how to market my programs, how to stay relevant in the age of AI. But I fill these up with as many resources as I can get, because if I go in here and say, what is vibe coding, I can use this to learn. So I'm only asking questions that I want to learn rather than getting this massive information where I feel overwhelmed. If you look at choice overload theory, it says that if you have too many options, it says 2 to 3 options is the ideal. When you get over that, you have a hard time making a decision. And with the amount of information on YouTube, it's really difficult to know what to pay attention to, who's credible, who's just marketing, what would actually be useful in my own coding experience. And this takes the question out of it, because even if you got bad content inside of Notebook LM, the amount of good content that you have in there and the amount of time savings that you get from this is incredible. So it shortens that process. Instead of listening to one video at a time at 1.5 speed or double speed, just so I can get through it faster, or grabbing the transcription and one at a time going into Gemini and asking it questions, I can bring all of that content here into Notebook LM and ask the entire set of information, any question I want. And it's relevant to my learning experience. So if I'm in a program like Cursor or Firebase Studio or Replit or Lovable, then I can ask questions to my program here, my Notebook LM, while I'm programming. I just had this experience and this happened. Why did that happen? It's going to teach me. Now, the cool thing is, if you don't know a thing about vibe coding, this is going to make it really simple. One of my favorite features here is the new video overview. When you click into this, they give you the option to do explainers where you can really dive deep with it, or go brief. Just make a 1.5 to 3 minute video on the topic. I love the style of the whiteboard most, but how to vibe code. Let's just create a video here. And it takes a little bit to generate, but it'll generate a video for me that I can go back and watch, because I'm a visual learner. I'm a tactical learner. I like to get in and build it and mess it up and learn from my errors. But what I see with Notebook LM is it's giving me an edge, an advantage, to where I can actually just pull all the content into one place. Instead of me going through each of these one at a time, I can talk to these videos right here. Now, if I ever want to go and watch this video, I can do that right here. That's the beauty of Notebook LM. I don't have to go back to YouTube and start searching for new videos and see if it's relevant, and see if the guy's just marketing, or the lady, if she's just marketing, or if they actually have really good information. Some of my favorite YouTubers right now are Tech with Tim, Tina Wong. There's some others that are really making a difference for me, because they're explaining how this works and how to do it properly. So if I'm in your shoes and you're like me and you're trying to learn from scratch, you've got to use Notebook LM in your process. And I slowed down in the beginning of building to learn first. So I put this all together so that I can come in here and talk to it. This gave a huge explanation of what vibe coding is, so I can read through that. The one feature I wish they would add is to be able to listen to it. So I've added an application on my Chrome browser, the Read Aloud app, so that I can actually listen to these. And so that's my hack for it. Sometimes the voice feature on Google isn't that great. So I use an app called Voice In on Chrome to speak most of my prompts in, because sometimes even if I fumble through it, I can get it in there and then let the AI do its work to clean it up. So you can see I created an audio overview. I don't know if I'll listen to that. I'll probably delete it and start over. But I love the video uh, overviews that this does because the quality is so good. The explainer videos, the B-roll that it plugs in is perfect. This is exactly what I need to be able to learn vibe coding uh, in this time of our lives, because up until this point, even programmers had to learn code. And I've been learning Python and Angular just to learn how to code. But I take that knowledge into Firebase Studio or Cursor, and it helps me to think through the process of coding a lot more. And so I have an understanding of how some of the code works, at least the fundamentals. I'd recommend you do that. So what I would do, again, just if I were in your shoes and starting new, is definitely be using Notebook LM in your process of learning, because it's going to change how quickly you can gather information in one spot, how quickly you can digest that information, and then put it to work. So you want to go out and practice, because that practice is going to anchor in your skill over time. You're going to be able to do things faster and faster. That's the one thing I've learned about the brain, is it takes about 18 to 258 days to create a habit, and 66 days on average. So if you don't stick with things long enough, they're not going to be habituated and they're not going to be natural for you. So you've got to practice. You got to stick with it long enough to get good at it. I tell my clients, you got to be willing to suck at something long enough to get good at it. So I hope that serves you today. Go get your vibe on, and I would love to hear what you're creating with Notebook LM and your vibe coding in the comments. So go make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.